Hey guys, Sundown here. This is going to be my chapter review to My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero Academia 179. The Culture Festival commences. Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I really enjoyed this chapter upon first and second reading. It was just a really good chapter, and everything we got in terms of Gentle's backstory, his true motivations, and exactly what his goals are, and really what this fight is a metaphor for in terms of fighting for your dreams at the cost of everything else and at the cost of others' dreams, or whether you don't, things like that. So it's really a parallel between Deku and Gentle. I really enjoyed all of it, and let's just go through the chapter as we normally do. So the chapter starts with President Mike announcing to the whole of the UA campus that the Culture Festival has begun, and everybody's excited and all that good stuff. And we see it's 9 a.m. That's something else to note, because Deku should be back on campus with his boys. We see Hound Dog. I think is it Hound Dog Man? I'll call him Hound Dog Man because I've forgotten his name. But the Hound Dog quirk dude, recognizing a scent. We see him recognizing a scent, and even though this kind of may be glossed over, I think Horikoshi is better than that, and this might actually be a very key bit of a very key panel, or a couple panels right on the first page. So the first possibility, I think, is that Hound Dog has detected Izuku's blood on the wind. He's detected Deku's blood on the wind, and he may go to provide reinforcements, but I think he'll find Deku stood over Gentle's unconscious body, victorious, and seeing the effort that Izuku has put in, he may not have the heart to report the situation. Or it could flip on its head and he would report the situation, the Culture Festival is over. But what I think might be more likely, and what I'm actually more hyped about, is the second possibility, which is that he sensed a third presence, another infiltrator, but it's not Deku and it's not Gentle. This could result in a cancellation of the Culture Festival either way, or Hound Dog goes to investigate this person, gets knocked out or killed or destroyed or whatever by this villain, leaving the first line of UA's defense open, and a whole bunch of villains could then just try and find their way through, which would result in some major shit going down. But if that happens, that would be hype as hell. But it's just something for you to think about. So as the clock hits 9 a.m, Deku fires his finger cannon right at Gentle, only for him to dodge. And you see it in the background, you see it affect the trees and all the leaves and stuff shaking. So it's a really powerful shot. Gentle is surprised once again by the power of Deku, but I'm thinking he was also surprised by Deku's sheer tenacity to win. Additionally, as this kind of lover mode is his last resort, I don't think he's ever had the experience or had the experience of having an extended brawl with an individual. So this is the first time he's really had to probably go all out against someone. And he's surprised that Deku even managed to survive after the first hit, which probably a lot of heroes haven't. And that's exactly what we got really this chapter. An extended brawl, which was awesome. I enjoyed it. We have Deku pleading for Gentle to stop, while Love Lover apologizes for the lack of love that she's throwing Gentle's way, because that's, the deeper her love is for someone, the more power they receive, or the more powered up they get. And obviously this only motivates Gentle more, especially given the backstory we see later this chapter, when she says that I apologize for the lack of feelings that you're receiving, and he's just like, nah, don't apologize for that. So Gentle then pulls out a new attack, Gentle Sandwich, which quite literally sandwiches Deku into the ground, and here we learn Gentle's true motivations: to fulfill his dreams from his younger days. Now, what are these dreams? So he wants his name to go down in history. That's the main thing. He wants to be remembered by future generations, to inspire his way of living into others, But the reason he won't stop is because his dream isn't just his dream anymore. And then we see a panel whilst he's saying that of Love Lover. So Love Lover has also kind of inherited his dream as his partner, and he's got to fight for her too. So even if he wants to stop and he doesn't feel like he wants to pursue his dream for Love Lover, he's going to do it anyway. So with this, he asks Deku if he thinks he would stop just because Deku asked, and obviously the answer is no. So Deku manages to kind of get a handle in the ground and really pull himself out of the Gentle sandwich. And then he asks Gentle a few questions of his own. For instance, why, even though he fights for both his and Love Lover's dream or dreams, he must trample the dreams of the UA students and even a girl who has never really had the ability to smile, or who has had her smile robbed, obviously talking about Eddie. So essentially Deku's just asking him, why do you have to trample everyone else's dreams or goals or anything like that just to achieve yours? What makes yours so important? And Gentle responds with, that's what's required to fulfill the dream. So somewhere along the line he's twisted a bit, and he feels like in order to achieve his dream, other dreams must be shattered. So the drive to complete it, even at the cost of destroying the dreams of others, is kind of what Gentle's going for at the moment. So we then actually go through Gentle's backstory, which I found really interesting. A failing high school student at an average high school who has failed the provisional license exam, I think at that moment in time for the 4th time. His mother sits next to him, crying her eyes out, ashamed by his failures, and not at all proud of the effort and he must have put in. And this is why Gentle was triggered, I think, when Love Lover said her feelings weren't enough. And the question always comes back to, how can you judge how much effort, how much emotion and will someone has put into something? And then how can you be ashamed of your child or an individual, even though they put in the maximum amount of effort that they could, the maximum amount of their own will and feelings into something? How could you be ashamed of them even though they've put in 100%? There's nothing to be ashamed of once that's occurred. I mean, if you've used all of your resources and then still failed, that's just a learning opportunity. So the part that really hurts, for me especially, is he actually tells his mom that he'll continue to do his best despite his failings. And in a world where being successful, I mean, like that's what we're living in right now. In a world where being successful is everything and failure is not an option, I feel this scene must have hit home for a lot of us. So it was just a really good backstory. We then go to another scene where a builder falls from like a suspended platform. We've seen it, when they're cleaning windows and things like that on a high-rise building. And Gentle tries to save him using his quirk, but his inexperience and bad luck actually prevented a licensed hero from saving said builder. As a result of this, Gentle is expelled and ostracized by he's expelled from his school, who were already threatening to expel him anyway, and he's ostracized by his parents, who seem to force him out of their own home. And I'm just like, once again, this was painful to read. Being disowned just because society didn't have a position which was a natural fit for you, that kind of hurts. But it's also a position, you're at rock bottom, so it's only a position where you can grow from exponentially if you put in the effort. So at age 22, Gentle's still kind of hitting that stream of bad luck. He's unemployed, looking for a job. But at this point in time, he says he'd forgotten his dream. He hadn't really been putting in the effort to pursue his dream, so he was not putting in the effort to become what he wanted to become. So that's why he went those 4 years without having accomplished anything. And Gentle runs into his former classmate here, though, who had been recruited by a hero agency back in high school. So this friend of his, or this person he knew, called Takeshita, he's now gone independent, seems to be innocently soaking up a little bit of his fame. And Gentle greets him, asking if Takeshita remembers him, realizing that he doesn't actually remember him. With this, Gentle's dream kind of reignites and reawakens, motivating him to make a name for himself, no matter the cost. And that's the dangerous part, no matter the cost. Essentially, what I feel it is Gentle's afraid of dying without anyone knowing who he was or what he'd accomplished or anything like that. So he wants to be remembered. He wants to die and still have his name spoken about. So with this, we come fully back to the fight. And what I actually liked was during the flashbacks, we got little snippets of the fight going on in the background, which was a format which worked really well for me. Here, though, Love Lover makes the observation that Gentle is going on the offensive in lover mode, despite his distaste for violence. And this proves his dedication to his cause and their cause, doing something he actively dislikes in order to achieve his goal. So after having told Deku about his dream, he says he doesn't care if Deku laughs or anything like that. He knows what's important to him, and he's going to continue to pursue it anyway. Now, this was the best part of the chapter for me, because as they collide and they, all that power is just streaming off of him, and Deku seems to be going quite far here. I mean, like, he's not going so far that his limbs are like creaking and possibly fracturing, things like that, but he is going quite far. And as they collide, Deku says the one thing which I think would cause Gentle to waver emotionally, saying, "I'm not laughing, gentle criminal." And I was like, that was a chilling part of the chapter for me. Now, this is possibly one of the few times in his life the reason why this was so chilling was because this is possibly one of the few times in his life that Gentle's dream has been acknowledged, and that his efforts to pursue said dream and the feelings that he's put behind them have all been acknowledged. The reason why, I think, Deku knows this pain all too well. Deku's been there, done that. The feeling of being the oddball, ostracized for being quirkless, really, feeling as if he'd never amount to anything in comparison to the heroes he admired so much. But Deku set himself some goals and strived hard to achieve them without walking over other people's goals. You know, he didn't want to. He's not the type of guy who wants to achieve his goals by trampling over everyone else. But Gentle, kind of in his desperation to be remembered, has taken the easy way out and decided to live on in kind of infamy instead of fame. So although that would inspire people to live like Gentle, I feel if he changed his approach and became a hero, maybe even kind of like a vigilante, anti-hero type character, fighting injustice even with his like cowardly tendencies, he would be better remembered for being a better man and a better inspiration. So the chapter ends with Love spurring on Gentle with the clash of these two usually pacifistic individuals coming to a close, and that's really how the chapter ends. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the review. Let me know what you guys thought of the chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of Gentle and his kind of ideology and his backstory, because I really enjoyed that. And let me know what you thought of Gentle and his whole kind of prospect and his ideas of feelings and things like that. So yep, all that good stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in a bit.